So we're going to talk about this week's topic, and it's pretty interesting because I'm going to talk a little bit about styles of individuals and how what your style is, how that's going to be a predicate for how you might be able to answer this question or understand why people would answer this question differently than you would answer this question. So here's the question I want you to think about. Here it is. Ready? Your personal time with or without people. So when you have the opportunity to have your personal time, would you prefer that to be with people or without people? And you might answer that question very quickly. Oh, I don't want to be around people. I'm around people all day long when I'm at work, and all I want is this little bit of time that I'm by myself, and I don't want to have people that are around me. Or you might say, oh my God, I love planning for having the social time, being around people, and it's a really easy answer for you. Most people, when you ask them this question, their answer is, it depends. It depends how I'm feeling, it depends on the day, it depends how my day went, it depends who I'm going to be having the social time with. So for those three different categories, and whatever category you fit in, number one, number two, or number three, it was 100% depicted on what your individual style is, and then what's happened to you that day, that week, that month, that will lead you to how you want to spend your personal time. Now, in general, everybody in all three of the categories have a need for social interaction. You might say, no, I don't have a need to be around people. I really don't like being around people at all. And that's the case. That is a very small amount of people, but it's very rare for you to say, I don't want any social interaction at all. And in general, everybody does have a need for a certain level of social interaction. The social interaction may be you browsing the internet, you looking at Facebook, you watching a television program, and you are laughing, watching some type of a sitcom. That is your choice of your social interaction. But so it doesn't have to necessarily be with another person, but having that ability to get that social piece is, I think, very helpful. And I believe, and if you believe in a higher being, I'm going to use the word God. God put us on this earth to be socially interactive with each other. And quite frankly, because of COVID-19 and our current pandemic, it's been hard. And it's been hard for those individuals and a majority of people that need that type of social interaction to not get it as much as they used to be able to. So it's going to be really interesting to watch how people will come out of where we are in the current pandemic as it pertains to how we socially interact with one another. If you are an individual that says, when I come home from work, I want to not have conversations and I want to just unwind from my day at work. And here's what you should do. And this is really important for anybody that happens to you when you come home from work. Number one, tell your significant other, when I come home, I'm going to say hi, I'm going to greet you, and then for the next 15 minutes, I need some alone time. So here's what I want you to do. Come home from work, never not change. Always go up to your room, change your clothes, and get out of whatever your work clothes are to change physically what you're wearing. Wash your face, wash your hands, whatever you'd normally do when you get upstairs to change or wherever your bedroom may be, and physically make that change. Then go outside, make yourself a glass of water, glass of tea, maybe an adult beverage, just something that allows you that 15 minutes of decompression. And here's why. If you get home and your significant other starts immediately asking you 14 questions, you immediately get defensive. You immediately go into this mode of, oh my gosh, I just finished work and I'm now home and I'm now getting these crazy things are happening and I shouldn't have to have these types of conversations. So, but if you tell your significant other, don't do that first when I come home. And on the flip side of that, if you are the person that's home and your significant other is coming home, don't load questions on them. So you might have things you want to talk about with that individual. And if you are a type of person that likes to take notes, write those things down. And then when the time is right, again, after 15 minutes, you might say to your significant other, hey, I have a couple things that I wanted to run by you. Do you have a few minutes? Or do you want to wait till after dinner? And if it's during dinner, don't typically have those types of conversations during dinner. Talk about lighter things that are more important for you. And then the last point to it is individuals have a need for appropriate feedback, always, on feedback that is constructive. Sometimes it's not constructive, but it is feedback that the individuals need to hear that makes a difference for you to be able to make better decisions, both in your personal life and your professional life. So be able to ask questions. Like I just read an email the other day and I'm like, I don't really agree with this direction of what the email was going and the questions that were being asked and the accusations that were being made in the email. So I asked Carl, I said, what do you think of this situation? And I explained to him what was going on. He gave me his perspective. That perspective and that feedback allowed me to make a better decision because I wasn't making a decision in a silo. So allow yourself for feedback, decompress appropriately, either as the decompressor or the person that's decompressing. And always keep in mind that people do have a need for that social interaction and the importance of when it is appropriate. If you just want to read a book, then go read a book. And you say to your significant other or the people that you live with, hey, I'm going to read a book for a little while. And people are typically perfectly okay with that.